So, the big impeachment thing's just about all over except the crying. And the actual vote, of course, but man, oh man, the crying. If it doesn't go on forever, rest assured, human stupidity will. Here's a couple beauties from my Facebook feed. So, you got a Soviet Union communist symbol embedded in the GOP. That's interesting. You realize that the Soviet Union's not around anymore, right? And Russia is not a communist country. But anyways, last time I checked, the only supporter of the old Soviet Union still in the U.S. politics is Bernie Sanders. Although there might be a couple other ones in the squad there. It's hard to tell sometimes. But anyways, Sanders doesn't play for the GOP. He plays for the other team. So if you're looking for comedians, communists, you got to look on Team D for that one. What else we got here? Led by Moscow Mitch. Really, Moscow Mitch? Mitch McConnell? You mean the guy that voted to freeze the financial assets of Putin and the Russian oligarchs? That one? Yeah, okay. And Putin's bitch. Really? You mean Putin really wanted Trump to send Ukraine anti-tank missiles and $1 billion? Yeah, that's a bitch, all right, but I don't think it's the kind you had in mind. Sorry, but I think this needs a rethink, or at least a first think might even help. Okay, we got a cartoon here, The Evolution of a Trump Scandal. Sounds amazing. Let's dig into it. Elephant number 1 says, "It never happened." Well, I guess it depends really on what we mean by the word it, doesn't it? Let's assume that the it means Trump threatening to withhold aid to Ukraine unless they investigate the Bidens. And if that's the it, then we can say that it never happened because Ukraine got the aid. And as far as we know, there has been no investigation into the Bidens. So it never happened. Congratulations, Elephant 1. You totally ended the cartoon. But that would be boring, so let's go to elephant number 2. Okay, it might have happened. Well, yeah, it might have happened when Joe Biden put pressure on the Ukraine by withholding aid unless they did what he wanted and ending the investigation. But, that would be a different it now, wouldn't it? So let's go to elephant number 3. Of course it happened. So what? Okay, well, I don't want to rehash that thing with the Biden part, but for this to make sense, we're going to have to redefine it. So let's say that the it is now Trump requesting an investigation into corruption by the Bidens in both Ukraine and China. And in that case, it happened. And in that case, I got to side with elephant number 3 in saying, so what? If there's corruption, we want to root it out. And if there isn't corruption, well, there's no harm looking into it, is there? So what? Elephant number 4, it happened, but it wasn't wrong. I think that's the same thing as the last elephant. Cartoonists just need to fill up space. Next elephant, it happened and was wrong, but it wasn't impeachable. I think there's actually a few people that take this position. They tend to be the more slimy kind of career politician republic creep. And they don't really like looking into corruption because, hell knows there's enough corruption in the GOP as well. So, I'll give you that one, but it's not a position that I hold, and I don't care about those bastards, so whatever. And the last one, it's impeachable, but I don't care. Well, this really depends. You got to pick your it. There's the it that never happened that's impeachable, and there's the it that didn't happen, or that did happen, but it's not impeachable. And in either case, you're right. I don't care, because I don't care about things that didn't happen, and I don't care about things that are not impeachable. So, end of cartoon. I don't know. It's kind of funny, I guess. I didn't laugh, but I can see how someone might laugh. The problem here is where you leave terms vague, like it, open to interpretation. You can plug in there whatever your imagination wants. And you don't question your own imagination, so it becomes true in your own mind. But, there's this funny thing. Reality exists outside of cartoons. So, have your laughs, but don't forget, there's a real world out there. A tidbit of the online argument I was a witness but not participant to. I'll just comment on a few little highlighted clips here from Little Miss Facebook Lawyer. No witnesses amounts to cover-up. The GOP-controlled trial is ensuring an unfair trial by not allowing evidence to be heard. What? Without allowing evidence to be heard? We're not allowing witnesses? There were 17 witnesses in the House hearing, and all of their testimony was sent over to the Senate. In fact, they played in the Senate trial 192 video clips from witnesses. There was a shitload of witnesses, and not allowing evidence? 28,578 pages submitted into the record, not to mention 21 some odd hours of Adam Schiff going on and on about these overwhelming evidence. Overwhelming evidence. How can you complain about not allowing evidence? The job was supposed to be done. That's the job of the House. Collect the evidence, bring it over to the Senate, put it on trial. Did. Fail. All right, there was quite a bit of back and forth over the protecting the whistleblower, and I included only Little Miss Facebook Lawyer's last comment here. The protection from retaliation of a whistleblower is a real doctrine and not a cover-up. And there was a little bit more following that, but then I just wanted to point out one of her following comments. Again, he can be cross-examined at the fair trial. No use here. Here it's just speculation as to what motive. Does not disprove what he claims he heard that sparked the complaint and has collaboration from other sources, all of which can and should be cross-examined. And somebody had a good laugh at this, and so will I. Okay, let me see if I got this right. The whistleblower must be protected at all costs from unfair retribution. But in order to have a fair trial, the whistleblower can be cross-examined. So which one is it, lady? Make up your mind. You can't have it both ways. Either if a fair trial means cross-examining the whistleblower, okay, let's bring it on. But you can't then turn around and say the whistleblower must be protected at all costs. You're outside the bounds of logic. You're like a flipping fish squirming all over the place. It reminds me of the old saying, you should never argue with a liberal because it's like playing chess with a pigeon. They ignore all the rules of logic, strut around the board acting like they're winning. All right. The guy asked what her idea of a fair trial would be, and assuming that she wants the president removed, but Little Miss Facebook Lawyer's not having any of it. This is my last comment on this. You can bet on one thing, it ain't going to be her last comment. It's the Senate's job to try the case. Capital T-R-Y on try. Have you ever seen any case tried without examining evidence and crossing the witnesses and anything related to those findings? Well, I didn't see it personally, but the last two Senate trials had no witnesses. In 2009 and 2010, judges had hearings in the House and then were tried in the Senate without witnesses and removed from office. And guess who the House manager was in both cases? Adam Schiff. So yeah, it happens, lady. And the fun continues with the guy pressing her to admit that all she really wants is for Orange Man to be removed, but she's not having any of it. I want a fair trial. Oh yeah, right. And where were you when the House hearings were deposing witnesses in the basement and not letting Republicans attend the depositions and refusing to have President's counsel cross-examine witnesses and not allowing the Republicans to call witnesses at all? You don't want a fair trial. You want whatever CNN and MSNBC tells you to want. I want the Constitution upheld. Oh, that's a good one. As soon as you hear any Democrat talking about the Constitution, you know you're facing some kind of bullshit. If he is not guilty, then prove it. Oh my God, lady, that's not the way it works. You're innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around. Maybe if you read the Constitution or knew something about how the law works, you wouldn't be wasting so many people's time with your drivel. He hijacked the process. What? Trump made exactly 0 appearances in this process, other than a couple of tweets. I frankly did not agree that an impeachment was the way to go. It's a waste of political capital and time. What? So why do you want this process to go on with more witnesses and more evidence? Which one is it? Make up your mind. I preferred that the DNC concentrated on getting ready to defeat him at the election. Well, you and me both. But since the DNC is run by self-serving retards, don't hold your breath.
I expected he would have gotten exonerated by the GOP-controlled Senate.
Oh, really? So he did. What are you bitching about?
What I did not expect is for the process to be so corrupted that it broke the system and made the executive branch uncheckable by the legislature by setting all sorts of precedents that ceded power to the executive branch.
Holy shit, lady. Get off the Rachel Maddow crack pipe. What exact powers have been ceded to the executive branch? Go ahead. Name one. You can't. There aren't any. This is insanity.
We basically have a functioning dictatorship now. It's no better than a banana republic. The president has uncheckable control. You got that?
Oh, yeah, lady. I got it. You're living in La La Land. If we're living in a functional dictatorship, well, I guess the election's going to be canceled. And you know what? I think that's okay with me. I think I'm okay with dictator Trump from now to the end of the time. Because I'll tell you what, reading this kind of commentary from people like you makes me think that democracy is the worst idea in the world. Well, that concludes today's episode of Hijinks and Mockery. I don't know if that's any use to anyone, but what the hell, give it a go. It's better than typing it out. And, we're going to have the big vote on Wednesday here, and Trump's going to be acquitted, but that ain't going to stop anything. This shit show's going to keep going for another 9 months at least, and then probably 4 more years after that. So get used to it, everybody, and peace out.